but it's all right, same diff. We are here in the great sunny and glorious Hawke's Bay, and hopefully we are bringing a little bit of light entertainment for your lockdown, as it is both all over New Zealand, but that's okay. I have just been over with the crew at Outlaw HQ with Breakfast Bourbon with Deb and Ethan, having an absolute blast over there. So if you didn't catch that episode, do make sure you go back to Outlaw HQ, either on their Skeinz, on their YouTube page or their Facebook page, and actually check out the broadcast. There's some really fabulous stuff we talked about and looked at this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all here today. Would you believe that for the first time where I'm sitting, I'm sort of looking out to the neighborhood from my bedroom window, and I could hear this noise before. I'm thinking, what is that noise? And I suddenly realized it's a lawnmower. I can't tell you how long it's been since I've heard a lawnmower because of the weather that has been going on at the moment. It is just incredible. It is so lovely. So there you go. The things you hear in spring, the things that you get for sunny spring. So the crew have all gone off. Vicky's just asking, did I get my coffee? Actually, I decided against it, Vicky. I grabbed a glass of water. I've already had 3 coffees this morning. I thought I'd better not have another one. Yep, I'm just letting Deb and Ethan go and grab, there we go, their coffee and get themselves all organised, which is fantastic. There they are. So we've got a whole heap to talk about. And are you guys ready? Give me a nod if you're ready. Ready? There we go. And we're back with the great team from Outlaw. Hey, Deb. Hey, Ethan.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm just going to go and get some toast, and I'll be back in a minute.
And I'm going to swap out and get my toast. Do you want to leave me the other earbud, or do you want to still? Oh no, that way you can still listen.
No, I'm going to listen because God knows what.
Yeah, she's going to be a stalker.
Oh, she doesn't. Don't you love the trust? She's still keeping the earbud in just in case, you know.
She always makes it out like you and I are troublemakers when we're alone or something.
I have no idea where she gets this from.
But it's like, we drink with moderation. We barely buy anything when we're out together. Like, we're such reasonable, sensible... I'm yelling this at her so she can hear it. We're such reasonable, sensible people.
Yes, I know. But we do. It is all very good.
Attacked.
And good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone heading on in.
Morning.
Right. Well, I sent out a newsletter. Ethan talked about his newsletter that he sent out. I sent out a newsletter yesterday. I will resent it out this morning, sent it out yesterday, because, of course, we have had our sale going.
Ooh.
And we have 10% off all Outlaw yarns at the moment, 10% off Bandit, off Bohemia. So if you've been struggling to find anything, and I think we've got a few things that you're out of stock of, I've got a funny feeling, a couple of colours.
Oh, that does happen now and then.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does, particularly some of the newer colours. So we have actually got those. We've got red and a...
do you have any Bewitched? Because Bewitched and Charming are really, really hard to get your hands on at the moment, friends.
Right. Hold the phone caller. Un momento, por favor, and I will tell you as she goes to jump into the... Right.
Loving it. Here for it.
Loving it. I know. Here we go, because I know they're at the top of the page. I've got both Charming and Bewitched in light.
Mm-hmm.
And I have... both Charming and Bewitched in regular Bohemia.
There you go. There you go. We are also running kind of frantically low and wreath friends at homes. You are trying to finish it up. The good news is all one buy lot, so you can mix and match between Skeinz and us if you need to get enough for a project.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So ours is only running until Wednesday, so you do need to make sure that you grab your bits and pieces now. Like as Ethan said, if you can't get it from Outlaw HQ, you've always got us as a backup, which is fantastic. So do check those out. And with the sale, wow, I mean, you guys have obviously, I did have a giggle. Was it Barbara, just in the previous thread before I popped away, was talking about making sure that, I mean, a lot of us aren't spending as much money while we're in lockdown, and so grabbing some cash guru was a great idea. And she just said that her husband wished that lockdown would end because she was spending so much on yarn.
Oh, I know, right? Like, she does really.
I missed something.
Barbara has been talking about how much yarn she's been purchasing.
Oh, okay, right.
And that her husband's secretly hoping lockdown ends so that she stops buying yarn.
I know.
That's not how the rest of us feel about it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Hold on a second. I'll just write this down. Yes, so it has been going really well. So I just have to say thank you to everyone that's placed orders so far. We do have a team in. We've got 2 packing teams in doing all the packing at this stage. So but the orders are of a quantity that you just need to. It may just take a little bit longer than normal to get things out. And of course, the couriers are a wee bit busier than normal as well. So
yeah, we've been the same. Actually, Ethan and I were the packing team at Outlaw yesterday.
Which is never a good idea.
Which is never a good idea, but But poor Helen had, because we are, for those of you who weren't watching, we're working in shifts at the moment. So Helen's going in first, and she normally handles all the packing. But there's been so much. She was still working, on a bit of a backlog, and of course because everybody's been loving our kits. That there's only so much she can pack in the time that she's there. So Ethan and I went in and actually. We were the packing team yesterday, because otherwise I thought, oh my God, by the end of the weekend, like poor Helen will have a breakdown when she comes in on Monday.
Yeah, it is. You just sort of have to sort of keep ticking along with it. So it's great. So we had, I popped up a whole bunch of yarns yesterday, as I mentioned in the previous thread. It's a little stressed yesterday, but that's all right. We got there, which is great. I've got a whole heap more came in from the mill on late Friday, and some will be coming across in the morning. Sue saying, are you the only one with the Outlaw team freezing? At the moment, the internet for both sides is actually struggling. So
because Maree's freezing for us. So, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And it was vice versa in the last one. One of the things that I do know on the watch back, it seems to be okay. So, yeah. Luana, the sale is going to last until Wednesday. It'll finish on Wednesday. And I will be loading, Claire and I will be together on this here on the Quarantine Diaries on Tuesday for the last gasp, because we've got a whole bunch of stock that's come in from the mill late yesterday, plus a little bit coming through tomorrow morning, and we will make sure that we get all of those up in time before the sale ends. So we will do that. So it's all good.
Now, is our sexy Kelly & Co. included in the sale? I'm just curious.
No.
Just asking as someone who has not.
It's the short.
We haven't seen it in person yet.
I'm very bad at not ever remembering to look at the Skeinz page, because I normally am talking to Claire and Maree on a regular basis. So I just occasionally just make requests and yarn shows up. As I live a blessed yarn life. But yeah. I do.
Will I ever eat my toast? I am eating my toast. I'm hoping that you guys can't hear me chewing. I just realised, earbuds have...
No, it's just the video's really shuddery, I'm afraid, but that's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
The good news is now I do have something to show you.
Oh, damn. You made moves on that.
Oh my God. When did that
happen?
Wow.
I know. I had a
break
from yesterday. Yeah, well, no, I still haven't. I'm just gotten to sleeves.
Wow.
So I did the yoke shaping. I know. I'm loving it. So exciting. So for those who are not aware, I am working on Nanook by Heidi Kirrmaier. And as Ethan and I were talking about last week, she does sort of graded yoke shaping in a table, which, I mean, I'll be brutal, I don't like. But
I don't like it either.
No. But to be fair, once you've done the first couple of increases, it's very easy to read your knitting and to see. It's like a roadmap, so you can then actually see where you're going. So that is a good thing. I'm knitting this in the Kelly & Co, which is our new authentic Donegal tweed from Kilcare in County Donegal in Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. This colour is Ramor, R-A-M-O-R, so it's a beautiful, and you see now you've got a big swath of stocking stitch I can show you, which I haven't had up until
so
now.
pretty.
Oh, yeah.
So look at that. Super pretty.
Mm.
I'm utterly delighted with it.
Sensual.
Yeah. And it is flying off the needles. It is just going so fast. Now, the nice thing about this pattern, I don't think we'll have anyone in the chat which is in the situation, but I know that I get a lot of them in the shop. And when it comes to, it is written top down from the collar downwards, but a lot of people will avoid patterns like this because they get to the sleeves and the sleeves are knitted in the round. In this pattern, she's actually written the sleeves both in the flat and in the round.
Oh, how great is that?
Exactly. So if you're somebody who is not zen with a circular needle or doesn't like working in the round, you do have the opportunity to actually work flat sheet. In fact, that is the main instruction, is to work flat with a sort of an adjunct note if you want to work in the round. I've chosen to work in the round only because I've just got my nice little fixed circular which I have specifically just for sleeves, and I can then knock out my sleeve pretty quick. So that's what I've chosen to do. So I am literally getting very, very close. I've got one more decrease set to go, and then I am into the ribbing, and sleeve 1 is done.
Boom.
Wow.
And I only started this late yesterday afternoon. So if I don't partake in day drinking, there is every probability that I will get onto.
We have a long distance day drinking date every Saturday. What is this?
Yeah, so I might get onto the second sleeve today. So that's super exciting. I haven't had a project that I have just flown through and felt so good about. You know, like I just am itching to pick it up again, as I have with this for ages. It has just been fabulous. I'm really, it's been so good. So the hard part now, of course, is now that I'm a bit spoiled. Like I know that I'm going to race through this, and I should go back and knit, finish the shoji, which I'm about probably 40% of the way through. The other thing, though, is I did promise Dr. Phil to do his sweater, which I had picked out, which I was going to do after the Point Judah pullover, and I had selected yarn to do that. It happens to be designed and knitted in an Aran weight.
So now you've changed your mind about which yarn you're going to use?
So now you're like, ooh, maybe shoji can wait a little bit.
Yeah, and Dr. Phil, to be fair, because of course I've had all of the yarn here to photograph, and he's seen all of the colours. And last week I noticed when he was standing on the dining room table and he was fossicking through, and he goes, "Oh, this one's quite nice," and "Oh, this one, I like this one." And yeah, so I've got a sneaking suspicion that I will end up knitting his one, which I think is called. I think it's just called the whiskey sweater. I have to look it up actually. I'll end up knitting his in this. So that's okay. That will not be a chore.
No, see, I'm feeling you on the project that you just love and keep picking up, because like I have a stack of UFOs still, although the stack has grown smaller because I finished Crosshatch and I finished Ease by Alicia Plummer. So Crosshatch by Jared Flood, Ease by Alicia Plummer. And now I'm nearly finished Redford, which actually makes me 3 projects down. And I am 90% of the way through Spire. And then the only other thing that I've got left is my little baby that we've already shown off and talked about in the other section, my Selly cardigan. But that's at a great place to just sit and rest while I finish up this, because there's so little left to this. But then I think I'm going to get that Selly finished. And then I think I'm clear sailing to possibly like race out a nice shawl before Outlaw October. Because I'm going to try to alternate between shawls and pullovers, which is not my strong suit historically. As you know, I tend to knit an endless number of pullovers, forget to make a cardigan. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, I have complained to both Deb and Maree probably no fewer than 40 times that I don't have enough cardigans. And every time while I'm complaining, I'm inevitably knitting a pullover, and both of them make the faces they're making right now at me. And they're like, well, you could just knit a cardigan. Like, it takes you 2 weeks. Just get it together. I can feel it from them, like feel it in their faces. But I'm actually.
Mind you did get the you did do the what is it, the simple cardigan?
The no frills. And I do no frills by
cardigan.
Petite Knits, and I do love that. And it was a big girl to get done.
Yeah.
And then I did do my rose cardigan, so I have actually completed, and channel. So those were my 3 cardigan editions so far this year. And Selly is also making the cardigan, so I will have more cardigans. But I have realized I don't need to find. I know the cardigan to make. It's Longfellow by Michelle Wang. For any of you who have a man in your life that you want to dress a little bit better, but you do want to make him a hand knit, and you're not afraid of a 4-ply knitting adventure, Longfellow by Michelle Wang. Great little pockets. It is knit and seamed. Everyone, don't be surprised by this news. Ethan loves a seam, but it is the cardigan version, basically, of Redford, if you will. So 10 out of 10 would recommend, because it's in my queue. It's been there for about 4 years. I just haven't gotten around to it. We'll get there eventually.
Very good. I've just had, I had something just pop onto my hat. Sorry, that was the comment. That was what it was. Something I was going to say, and then it disappeared, and then it came back. Philip is wanting to know what the hat that I am wearing today is. The hat that I am wearing today is it is called the Ivy Trellis Hat, and it is by Alana Dacos, and it is from her. It's either Botanical Knits 1 or Botanical Knits 2. I can't remember which one it is.
Botanical Knits 1.
Yeah, I think it's the first one as well. And it is actually a surprisingly quick knit, and it's not really that difficult at all. Like I knocked out a couple of these one after another when I was on holiday a few years back, and it's not a slouch. It is actually like sort of a taupe, but it for me it fits perfectly. Like, it fits really well.
Could we describe it as a generously proportioned cap?
Yeah, I think so. And this one is this was knitted in our silver lining, if those who remember our silver lining. But basically, Bohemia, if you're wanting to knit this, it would look fabulous in Bohemia. Absolutely amazing in Bohemia. And one ball of Bohemia will get you this little beauty. So there you go. It will be
now we've got somebody looking for a suggestion for 4-ply cropped women's cardigan pattern. I have about 18,000 suggestions, so I'm going to let the two of you start that off with whatever you guys are thinking, and then I'll fill in the blanks. How does that sound?
Rebel.
Yeah, Rebel. Yes, definitely.
Is that cropped?
Rebel.
Yeah.
You could crop it. The yes, definitely. And the other one I've knitted before is Summer Carnival by Georgie Nicholson. I've done a couple of those actually. They're sort of they're very sort of sweet and cropped. Miss Jane, you can crop. I've varied the length on that. Oh, mind you, that's on a DK, so let's throw that one back out.
Yeah.
That's a DK,
yeah.
I'm trying to think 4-ply.
Yeah, 4-ply.
I don't know a lot of 4-ply cardigans, funnily enough.
So those would be my two suggestions: Summer Carnival and Rebel. Because to be fair, those are the ones in my wardrobe. To be honest. What about you, Ethan? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go from. Rebel is great. It's open fronted, however, in a great layering piece. If you're one of the people who loves like a long sleeve merino with like a cute kicky pair of pants or something, Rebel, perfect. if you are a big fan of, those loose linen dresses, then the one that you just said from Georgie is a great option. However, if you're looking for something that has kind of like a 1950s flavor to it, so that you're looking for one of those short cropped cardigans to wear with a fitted waist dress, or to give you a waistline if you're someone who benefits from that, because not all bodies benefit from waist shaping. Let's just remember, it doesn't matter male or female. It's not a thing for everyone. I would recommend looking at the collected works of one Andy Satterlund. She has a lot of really great fitted cardigans in different weights. She has a couple in 4-ply. They've got great detailing normally. They're very retro and vintage inspired, but normally knit seamlessly and top down.
Oh, sorry, I just had a thought. I'm not sure her patterns are still on Ravelry.
Oh, her patterns might not be on Ravelry anymore. I believe she's moved them to her own website.
Yeah.
If you can still find them on Ravelry, and they have a link there to her own website now. However, if you are looking for something very vintage and very cool and cropped, there is a pattern by Susan Crawford. I think it's called the Cropped Rose Cardigan. It actually is a twin set, which is how I found it, because I have a twin set obsession. It has intarsia rose motif across the top of it. And it is just an absolute freaking good time of a knit. It is super vintage. You're definitely not like getting any modernness here. It's just beautiful and elegant and super, super cool. The other great one I would actually recommend as a cropped cardigan that's 4-ply is Clara Jane by our good friend Vanessa Harper from Hanging Rock Roost. It has some mosaic color work around the bottom and sleeves and contrasting button bands. And so it's just a beautiful little knit.
I think Helen's made about 3 of them.
Yes, Helen Prime.
We had to name our Helens. So
yeah, we've got a couple.
Yeah, I was going to say Helen Williams is
Helen Williams.
We call her Helen Prime.
I think she's made 3 now.
Yeah. Oh, Ethan, you've got a lot.
Yep, I know. It's all right.
Okay.
Don't worry. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend digging in to the Susan Crawford vintage selection. Is just so freaking fabulous. And last but not least, because almost all of her cardigans are cropped and kind of boxy but shaped at the same time, Kate Davies, who does some of the coolest stuff out there.
Yeah, I love her stuff.
Yeah, she takes the old so much and modernizes them for a modern knitter. And she has the most accurate and fabulous gauge of any designer today, I think. It is dense and sticky, and anything you make from her will absolutely stand the test of time. Plus, she is very, very not fussy. So you will not find a lot of like rando details that don't matter. If it's in the pattern, you need to do it. And she has one of the smartest techniques for yarn over buttonholes that I've ever seen that just makes it a breeze to make them.
Yeah, some of our customers have made her.
Yeah,
who's recently.
We actually have a sample of hers in the shop, and it's really cute. If you like color work and vintage, which I'm kind of on a break from current patterns. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but I have not knit anything recent except for Selly in ages, and it's just because we are so lucky to have had so many designers over the year make incredible things, and I find that when trying to keep up with
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, Nanook's 2012. I'm diving back into older stuff as well. Hey, Rachel's asking a good beginner shawl pattern for her daughter, specifically looking for a pattern that uses up yarn scraps so she can knit until she runs out of yarn. For me, Hitchhiker All Day Long by Martina Beam. And the reason I say that is because it is just garter stitch. So I am very much of the, if you're a beginner, from the wax on, wax off school of beginner knitting, and doing lots of garter stitch is a great way of doing it. And you've got knitting into the front and the back of the stitch, as well as a little bit of casting off to create the teeth, and that is the sum total of the extra bits of skill. But what you can do is, if you're using up scraps, is between each of those teeth, that's where you can actually add in some stripes and play around with it. That would be my thought on that. What about you?
I'm going to give a thought, then I'm going to pass an earbud over so I can go briefly to have a human moment.
Okay.
I would recommend Dotted Rays by Stephen West,
Oh,
which
yeah.
uses his shortcut rose techniques. Again, I'm also in the wax on, wax off school of thought. It's 99% garter stitch. You close the short rows in it using yarn overs, so the technique is very straightforward. And it's great because it's built in blocks, so you can stripe inside of the blocks, and there are instructions in each version, because there's about 7 versions of it now, because he's done really cool things with it and really played around with this one singular shape to make it do interesting things. You can use the tiny bits as the single pass stripes where you close all of the holes and use your bigger chunks for the bigger wedges. And a hot tip from Amy Gillet from La Bien Aimée is arrange your yarn in the littlest amount of yarn to use on the little wedges, and then the bigger amounts of scraps for the bigger wedges. And then it doesn't matter, because she knits a Dotted Rays, I think 2 or 3 times a year, she said, just to use up all of her scraps. And she doesn't do any color planning in advance. She just whacks it out in the order that they fall in size. Yeah. So I'm going to pass this over to Deb so that she can give her basic shawl, because she's actually kind of got a good idea on the needles.
Yeah. So what I'm knitting right now would work as well.
The Boneyard.
Yes. So the Boneyard, because this is super, super simple knitting. Which I'm halfway through a row now, so it's a bit difficult to show you. But hang on, if I get a bit closer, you might be able to see it. It's a hard one because I've got variegated yarn, but you can see just there's basically little stripes of garter stitch through it. But yeah, I'm just increasing. It's obviously mainly stocking stitch. Sorry, I'm just going to take that out because I can't hear what's going on. It's not working for me. Yeah. So anyway, it's this is great, and like I've started the pattern and I'm basically ignoring the pattern and just carrying on until I run out of yarn, because I had 3 skeins of this yarn. I want to use it all. So yeah, so great way you could do the same thing in with scraps and you'll just get stripes.
Yeah. The other thing too, Rachel, as well, is these shawls, but depending on I don't know how patient she is, I also quite like cowls too, because cowls get completed a wee bit quicker, and you're able to get them off the needles a lot faster. One of the ones that you can do if you're wanting to do a really, really basic cowl is you can actually, so often you will do them in the round, right, and you do them as a tube, but if you actually flip it over the other way around and cast, depending on the weight of the yarn that you've got, but decide the width of the cowl that you want, and then do a mixture between stocking stitch and reverse stocking stitch. So you're flipping it around, so you'll have your right side with say 6 or 8 rows of stocking stitch, and then you reverse it round, so then you have those 6 rows facing on the other side, and then vice versa, which then creates actually the effect of a rib as you go up. But you can actually change your colours out for stripes that way as well, and then you get to the length that you want, join it together, and then when you wear it, you've actually got like a horizontal sort of stripes that you can play around with. That's also a really good way to get rid of the scraps, but also too, just again, that whole wax on, wax off, wax off, wax off technique. When I talk about that, it is about just doing the same action again and again and again and again, because a lot of knitting is around is muscle memory, and if you're doing the same thing again, it's brilliant. Michelle has just jumped in, and Michelle has just jumped in saying Aranami is cool, all garter, little segments, and it will have practice for picking up stitches. And actually, you've said that, and I'm just looking over to my.
I was going to say, I know that's one of Maree's favourite patterns.
Yes, it is one of my favourite patterns, and I can reach over because my shelf with all my goodies is right behind the computer. And this is what we're talking about here. So I've done this one again. This is by Olga Barain Khalifian, or Olga Jazzy on Olga Jazzy on Revelry. I've knitted this as she's written it. She wrote it in a fingering weight yarn, so I did it in my first one in a fingering weight, and then I've done the last two actually in larger weights, and I have done it using up different colours and different scraps, and it is so these
really cool.
This is all done. It is, and this is modular. So this is done as modular knitting. So if I flip it round, you will see where you can see where the everything's being picked up. So the only thing I would say about this, if you were to knit this, is get disciplined about weaving your ends in. So I used to, every time I did sort of a section, I would weave my ends in as I went, because otherwise you'll get to the end of the sucker and you'll never want to weave another end in again in your life. So that's the only thing. But this one is loads of fun. And actually, in fact, this has given me an idea, because I usually do a scrappy blanket, scrappy crocheted blankets, and I've got a whole heap of them. But I haven't got one on the go at the moment. And a lot of my scrap yarn has been placed into resource kits for Knit August Nights, and of course I've now that we've postponed that, I've actually just packed everything away all ready for next year, and I have been looking for a new project actually for my little scrappy bits and pieces, and actually one of these could be it. So I mean, and I don't know about what you guys do, but I have a tendency, I save all my scraps and I break mine up into, I mean, I mostly work with either DKs or 4-plies or fingerings. So I just divide all of mine into fine, medium or bulkier weight yarns. And that's a really good project that you could just pick up and put down and just keep adding segments to it. And you can have this crazy random shawl which is like a memory shawl of everything that you've been working on. So that's loads of fun as well.
Yeah, I've got to admit most of my scraps go into a box at work, and whenever we need to grab some yarn for a class or anything like that, we have the box of the leftovers that we go and dig into, or if we're making samples or something, we go and dig in the leftover box and see what's there. And often if you just need a little bit for colour work or something like that, it's I've got that too, but I've sort of gotten to a point where I've hit saturation with a lot of them, so I do actually have stuff at home. Deborah is saying suggestions for a 4-ply shawl wrap, 800 meters ish, with components of mohair. I want to get away with just one ball of mohair. Okay, so you've got less than 800 meters for one ball of mohair. That is a question, and the person to actually answer that
question is Deanna McDougall. Deanna. Calling Deanna.
Deanna will have the perfect one for that.
Deanna will have the perfect question for that. Mind you, in saying that though, the one that the Bristol Ivy that you did the cash Gora. Yeah, that would be something that you could potentially do. Would it not? I don't know what needle size it's on. Often, Deborah, what you can do is find a shawl that you like.
Yeah, because lost the sound.
Oh, there we go. There you're back. One of the things you can do is you can just find something that you like and just play around with your needle size. So the whole thing with mohair, though, if you're looking at for a shawl, is you're wanting to have lots of space, so that's something that will work really well. Helen Prime has jumped up and saying the fledglings shawl is a really good one. She did with one mohair and one 4-ply. That's a really good idea.
The fledgling one. So that's what we did with the cash Gora.
Yeah. And Angela's saying when you talk about scrappy yarn, are you talking about balls? Part balls only. Yeah, part balls or part skeins. You often end up, you'll have a project and it's you'll often end up with 10, 20, 30 grams of something left over, and those sorts of things. And also single, like if I am working in a project in 50-gram balls, it's not uncommon for me to be left with like 1 1/3 ball of something left. And at the end of the day, you can only do so many hats before you go into the sort of Hatland. You're saying 800 metres total. Well, I definitely can tell you the Niada that I put up before. If you pulled your needle size up or got a needle size that you were comfortable with, 800 metres would get you a really generous shawl in Niada and look fantastic, actually. Oh, there we go. And Bronwyn is also popping up. Oh, yes, Bronwyn. Well done. Bronwyn has popped up the link to her pattern, the Kristen shawl in a mohair, which is glorious. Absolutely glorious. That's a great suggestion. Thank you for doing that, Barbara. That's fantastic.
Kathy's
and
just
Kathy's
done a
saying
bubble cow with leftovers. I think that that the one in Bohemia, Kathy. That's gorgeous because that that blanket was shawl was gorgeous. Or shawl blanket, yeah.
Schlanket.
Schlank. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. It's my shift to eat on our schedule. Just for the record, I'm having a tomato and cheese sandwich if anyone's curious at home.
Oh,
Thank
very
you so much.
good. Dare I say we had the takeaways last night?
What did you have?
Well, so I had my day, right? So I had, after I got off the Diaries yesterday, screaming might have actually occurred at the computer, and I was a little bit stressed. And and then we went on a bike ride to calm Mumsy down, and then came back, and Phil declared as we were having lunch, he said to me, I'm going to order takeaways because you need a break. You're just exhausted. So we had Hell's Pizza, which is the kids' favourite. So that's what we had last night. And it was funny because he ordered, usually in our house, we do the little snack size pizzas and everyone gets their little snack size pizza. But because it was the first sort of big takeaway since the lockdown, he got full sizes for him and the two kids. I stuck with my snack size. And they, so the ginger, he was very happy at the knowledge that he had pizza. I heard him turn the oven on and put his leftover pizza in the oven. So he had pizza for breakfast this morning. Breakfast of champions.
Nothing like
for 15-year-old growing boys.
Well, I've got to say, I'm surprised you turned the oven on. I always eat my leftover pizza cold.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This is the ginger, remember? So
yes.
Yeah. So we did actually do that last night. So, but I am, to that end, I just, so people know, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I am actually taking tomorrow off. It is Father's Day, so I'm going to have the day with Dr. Full and the kids. Yeah, well, I just sort of kind of realised after I had my little meltdown yesterday that I'd worked 24 days straight, and I was actually getting a bit crabby. So it was time to sort of like,
no,
would probably be I know. I was just getting a little bit grumpsful, so it was time to actually sort that out. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, which will be great. So with any luck, we can have a nice cruisy day. I've got a lovely lunch planned for Father's Day lunch, and it looks like the weather's going to play ball. And with any luck, I can get loads of knitting done, which will be fantastic. And I've been
I was just going to say, for Father's Day, I didn't even check what day our order was. Was that for Father's Day?
Yes, we have Father's Day lunch order, and then I was planning on trying to talk everyone into takeaway for tomorrow night dinner anyway.
We have ordered from the Great Pastry Shop for Father's Day brunch.
Fabulous. So jelly that you guys have got the Great Pastry. We've got nothing like that here.
Well,
nothing.
There is no tertiary non-gendered parental unit day yet. It hasn't started. Yeah. I think I should also get to pick a meal on Father's Day because I am technically male. And so I would like to roll with a dinner takeaway because I'm going to make Greek food for dinner tonight. And then I think making nearly, God, I don't want to think about how many dinners I've made in the last 2 weeks. But like I've really done the Lord's work on the cooking front.
Yeah. You do. You think yourself fed during lockdown?
Yeah, well,
probably why we're not divorced yet.
Well, I think that's where we're at too. Like, I just, I've the same thing. Like and because I've got 2 teenagers as well, so I'm essentially feeding 3 extra adults. It's I have to admit, you get down to a point where it was so it was
you
so
run out of
lovely
steam
to
on
see.
ideas, I find. It's just like, I don't have, I think a lot of people have like tested and true recipes that they fall back on. It's not really a thing for me. Because I literally can cook anything. It just depends on how much time and patience I have. So it tends to get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I mean, I don't really want to make another stir fry.
Yeah.
And like, I don't particularly feel the urge. Like, I can make about 17 different pasta sauces from memory without having to look them up. Just because none of you have had the pleasure of meeting my father, which you're welcome. But Chef Dad is a monster. And so I can make all the mother sauces from memory still to this day, which is like a little bit of a thing. But like, you run it. Like, not everyone enjoys pasta the way I do. Like, I would eat pasta 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. But I recognize that's not a thing for most people.
See,
I am Italian.
One of the
I was going to say, have you met the people in the household?
Yeah, see, like I did, because of course I enjoy hand making pasta like you do. So, I mean, that was us. Not last night, the night before. I did lasagna. I do like lasagna with hand rolled pasta, which is our kids' absolute favorite. So, yeah, I find that sort of quite therapeutic. But yeah, you do. I just, by the time yesterday rolled around, I was like, okay, I'm all out aces. I am just done. I am so done. So, but that's okay. I'm back on deck today. And the funniest thing is we had I managed to get a grocery delivery, which was really exciting. And the cat, because she's used to eating sort of like fresh cat food as opposed to processed cat food, along with her biscuits. Well, she sort of had, by the time the fourth day of jelly meat rolled round, she sort of looked at me like, again? I'm a feline of superior breeding, and we're going with the chef again. And she has got a resting bitch face to end all resting bitch faces.
Oh yeah.
So when the fresh Jimbo's veal arrived, you have never seen a cat consume a fresh meal as fast as she did that day. It was, and then she sort of got on her favourite chair, and she was sort of a bit like Garfield after a tray of lasagna. She sort of just lay there. I swear, if she could have put her hand in her trousers, she would have. She was just that full.
Well, I've got to say that Ethan actually went on the mission last night to the supermarket because we ran out of the Temptations cat treats. And while this sounds like a luxury situation, a first world problem, Pedro is medicated, and the easiest way to medicate the cat is to give it to him with treats, because then he's fine about it. If there's no treats, and also he can count. So there does have to be the correct amount of treats.
I have witnessed this firsthand.
Yeah, our cat can count. The curse of having smart animals. Penny is not one of them, but Pedro. I don't know how well Kip counts, but Pedro can literally count. So yeah, there are issues when there are no treats. So Ethan saved us last night.
Look, the cat is actually a tiny terrorist. I'm not a big cat person, everyone. I had a cat, not a huge fan overall of cats.
Oh, but Oksana does sound like a very special case.
Oksana, my cat was like incredibly special needs. Like, she was very, very beautiful, but I don't know if you know this, cats can get concussions. Oksana had run into walls so forcefully and fallen off of things and not caught herself with her feet in the slightest. I had to take her to the vet more than 3 times for a concussion. Mm-hmm. It's a serious thing. Now, I think that we actually have some questions possibly that are not cat related.
It is. I'm just looking it up for Barbara.
Spooky.
It's so funny. It's hilarious. Barbara's just asked, quick, Ethan, while my husband's out walking the dog, can you please confirm that the Michelle Wang Brooklyn Tweed Slade pattern, which I've just pulled up, is good in Kelly & Co? And I mean, I'll answer I would say a quick yes, but what are your...
No, that is definitely a quick yes. It will also be great in Rebel when it's available, but if you like the Kelly & Co, it will definitely work in that as well. Just remember the fabric will be a little bit denser, but that's not really a problem.
No, the gauge is definitely
well within
not
the
an
boundaries.
issue. Yeah, and it's gorgeous, Barbara, absolutely gorgeous. And that actually, the cardigan, I'm just looking at the one from the website, the Brooklyn Tweed website, and the one that the model is wearing, if you like that one, Sheridan is the colour. I mean, Ramore is the colour I'm doing, which is the natural. Sheridan, it's a pity actually, because I do have Sheridan here, but it's in the other room, is the really beautiful dark blue with all the tweedy flecks in it. Gorgeous. So that one is called Sheridan. I would definitely recommend that. It is lovely. Oh no, you've already bought the yarn. Love it. I love it. Yeah, so no, that would be incredible. That would be an absolute cracker, actually.
See, Sandra is also held hostage for temptation treats by the cats.
Yeah, we've got them as well, and she's like an exocet missile, actually. If we need to get her in at night, and she's sort of gone a wandering. I mean, the shaky shake, you do the shaky shake, and then this sort of fuzzy exocet missile will come sort of shooting through. And we've got concrete floors in our dining room, so she will then shoot through, and she will do what I call the Tom Cruise slide on the, and then off she goes. It's hilarious. You got yours yesterday and you love it. I loves it too, Barbara. It is just absolutely fabulous. It's so I've actually got one. This is some more of this is actually my other job today, to wind some more of these off. I think I've only got one. I've only been doing them off in small bundles. Only because I don't think I'll need to use all of them. So whatever I don't need to use, I will take back to the shop.
Oh no, I was more stirring the pot about the ball winder that Claire stole.
I was this close to actually putting these into the letterbox and saying to Claire when she drove past, well, you can pick them up and you can wind them for me, and then you can bring them back. But I didn't. I have actually, but it does require patience, and yesterday was not the day for me to do that. So that is one of my jobs for today. That's definitely one of my jobs for today.
That's all right.
Della's got firefly yarn.
So
when I've got the winder that I like, it's easy. It's just not the one that I've got.
I don't think Deb likes winding yarn at all.
I don't need to. I have staff.
We've got Heather at work, and Heather loves winding yarn. Like, she loves it.
I've met Heather. She seems sane. It doesn't seem...
I don't know what it is. She's so funny. She absolutely loves it. And I'll go to work and I'll be doing stuff, and she goes, "Oh, do you need that wound? Oh, I'll go wind it for you. I'll go wind it for you." And off she goes, and they all come back in perfect little cakes. It's like, oh, you. I know, she's so funny. She is so funny. Right, I'm going to wrap this up because we are just gossiping and talking about absolute rubbish, which is we love doing, but it is a glorious day out there for most people. So, as I said, have a wonderful Father's Day tomorrow, everybody, and have a great day. Pat yourselves back on the back, and just really enjoy and relax. I will be back here on Monday, and I will see everybody then. So until then, you two have a great weekend, and everyone else have an awesome time.
Me too.
Yeah, take care, and don't forget the sale is still on. There is still plenty of stock there, and it will be, and there'll be more stock added next week. Yay! Until then, take care. Bye bye.
Okay.